I now want to talk about a couple of areas of risk that are much less easy to quantify. Just because they're not as easy to quantify, however, doesn't mean that they're not as important. They are absolutely essential for directors to understand. These two areas are reputation risk and strategic risk. Let's look first at reputation risk. Every year there is a survey done of the consuming public to find out, who do you most trust in the financial services sector? It doesn't really come as any surprise that credit unions come out highest in this trust issue every single time. That means that credit unions have a very major reputation to uphold. It is a differentiating factor, and we're all looking for differentiation, and credit unions have already got one in this trust component. I'd like to just tell you a little story. Warren Buffett of Berkshire Hathaway has a big annual meeting that most people know about, and about 3 or 4 years ago, at that annual meeting, one of his shareholders stood up and said, "Mr. Buffett, could you explain, you lost money on this transaction, could you tell us about it?" Warren Buffett stood up, he said, "The good news is this, we can afford to lose money. And not only that, we can afford to lose a lot of money. The one thing we can never afford to lose is one shred of our reputation." Now, he wasn't talking about credit unions, he wasn't talking about the financial services industry, but if that comment doesn't sum it up for us, we cannot afford to lose one shred of our reputation. Reputation risk is a discussion that directors need to be having with management at all times. It is vitally important. The other area of risk is strategic risk, the risk that either you don't develop strategy at all, or it's poorly developed strategy or poorly executed strategy, and people don't give this enough attention. There's a group in New York City called Mercer Risk Management, and they did a study of the financial services sector over the whole decade of the 1990s. And what they wanted to find out was which areas of risk caused the most problems. And we always assume that if we're going to have problems, it's likely to be either credit risk or interest rate risk related. What they found was in the 1990s, which was a relatively stable decade for us, the biggest area of risk that caused us any problems was strategic risk. Again, you've got to be good at strategy, you've got to be good at developing it, and the organization has got to be good at executing it.